Joining me now for an exclusive interview, her first since announcing her run for Senate in the state of Texas, Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Congresswoman, thank you for being here. As you know, a Texas Democrat has not won a statewide race in 30 years. Tell me what your path to victory is.
My path is through the people. Right now, we know that, yes, there's a blue wave that is coming. That is why the president and his minions have decided to go across this country and try to cheat their way into holding the House. But when it comes down to Senate races, every voice is counted. Every single vote matters the same. And what we wanted to look for is whether or not I could expand the electorate and get people motivated to vote who normally don't participate in the process. And our numbers say that we can do that. There's a lot of excitement, and you're going to need excitement. You're going to need momentum. And obviously, you're going to need a few receipts to make sure that we flip this state. But it can and it will get done.
Well, Congresswoman, that's one path, obviously, those who have not participated normally. Then there's a whole host of people who have voted. Is your path through those who have previously voted, but for different parties, as well as those who have not wanted to be a part of the system before?
I will tell you that our targets aren't necessarily those that consistently have not joined the movement known as the Democratic Party. It's not necessarily them that we're going after, but I do want to be clear that a lot of people continue to think that this is about policy, yet they can't really explain how it is that you have Mandami Trump voters, or how you have Obama Trump voters, or how you have AOC Trump voters. And the reality is that I think that that's where we are going to walk that fine line. We are going to be able to get people that potentially have voted for Trump, even though I obviously am one of his loudest opponents, because at the end of the day, they vote for who they believe is fighting for them. And it's about moving people. And so I think I've got a track record of doing that. I think people understand that when I sign up to go to D.C., it's always me taking the people with me. It's not ignoring their voices. And that's what we're going to do. So for all those that believe it's about which one is more moderate or which one is too far left, if you look at the actual numbers, not just polls, but real elections, then you will see that the crossover doesn't come because you decide to sound like a Republican. The crossover comes because you make people believe that you will fight for them.
How will you make voters who previously have voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump's supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that get ignored, specifically in the state of Texas. Listen, the state of Texas is 61% people of color. We have a lot of good folk that we can talk to. We know that when Beto came really close, Beto, who is a progressive, we know that he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president, who says it's a Democratic hoax. But when somebody goes to the grocery store nowadays, whether it's in East Texas or whether it's right here in Dallas, Texas, or whether it's in Austin or West Texas, let me tell you, they are looking at those grocery prices and they are thinking we deserve better. Knowing that we do the amount of trade that we do in the state of Texas, yet right now there are these unwarranted tariff wars that is directly impacting us, knowing that we do agriculture big in Texas. We do everything bigger in Texas, but we do ag big, and understanding that we are hitting record-breaking bankruptcy filings by our farmers. Listen, my message is real simple. I'm looking out for you, your survival, and the survival of your kids as it relates to affordability, being able to actually go and access health care, being able to send your child to school, being able to afford a roof over your head. If that's not, what Trump supporters want, then fine. Then they absolutely won't listen to me. But I'm here for the everyday person, the person that's not the billionaire on the list that Trump has decided to take care of, but the people that he left sitting out in the cold, just like he did when he decided to be sworn in, and he decided that inauguration day he would have it inside while so many of his lawyer supporters were outside.
Well, let me talk to you. Immigration is also big in Texas, and you yourself have been criticized for being critical of Latinos who support President Trump, and you have been dismayed at the support that they have shown for Trump's immigration crackdown. How do you bring them back into the fold, given all the other issues you have discussed as well?
Yeah, so I think the frustration is real just in general, because I could see the writing on the wall. And what I've come to the conclusion of is that he is a con man. I mean, we know he's a con man. And I understand that there were people that were legitimately conned. But the reality is that whether you are an American citizen or not, we have a Supreme Court, Trump Supreme Court, that said because of how you look or because of how you sound, you can be rounded up. We've had a record number of U.S. citizens. This is why it is so important for us not to be divided, but instead decide that we are going to be united, because you think that it's okay, maybe, if somebody goes out and does the things that they've been doing to undocumented folk. But the reality is that even those that are actual citizens, even those that are documented, are being tormented as well. And so this can hit any and all of us. We saw what happened in Chicago when they decided to go to the South Side and they went and got black babies out that were absolutely U.S. citizens as well.
So you
I
will
think
take
that
issue,
just kinda
Congressman, with
keeping
the
it real,
tactic, not just the policy, or both?
I take issue with both. I mean, there is no policy. Right now, they have decided that they were just going to be rogue actors. We know that there's been an opportunity to engage in actual policy work, but we know that this administration does not care to know what the House or the Senate wants to do. Instead, they have been bulldozing and ignoring any laws that we've tried to put into place. And he doesn't want to do this. He likes the chaos, and he likes the hate, and he likes the confusion. That allows people to be diverted from the other terrible things that he's doing. And so what I want us to do is us to just focus on what kind of life do we want? Do you want a life where your neighbors can be nabbed just because of the skin that they are in, or because of the language or accent that they may have? That's not American. And I'm trying to get back to basics. I'm trying to make sure that those that truly consider themselves to be patriots, those that consider themselves to live in the land of the free and the land of opportunity, are engaging in just that. It is literally time, as he used to say, to take our country back. It is time for us to own our flag. It is time for us to prove what patriotism is. And it is a action verb. It is not a noun that you just say. It is about your actions. And right now we are not seeing patriotism.
One way to have patriotism in action, of course, is through voting. And as you know, Congresswoman, you're going to first need to defeat State Representative James Talrico, who President Obama recently praised as somebody who we thought was the future of the party. Can you pinpoint a substantive policy difference between the two of you, given, of course, he has been campaigning a little bit longer than your announcement today?
Yeah, so it's not like I've delved into the full breadth of James's policies. What I will tell you is that we served together in the state house. And because he's never served on the federal level, I don't know all of his federal positions. What I can tell you is that I've been in the belly of the beast. What I can tell you is I am the one that's receiving the phone calls from people that are scared that their Social Security may be under attack, or I am the one that is receiving the phone calls from those that have loved ones that are in ICE custody, or I am the one that is receiving the phone calls when that small business owner, for whatever reason, has not received their tax refund.
You've also received a great deal of hate, Congresswoman.
That is absolutely true. I am also the one who has received a lot of hate. But I think that when you think about what a public servant is, it's somebody who literally is there to serve the public. And while I don't think that it's okay that political violence has been what it is, I think that we need leaders that are unafraid. And I think that because I have been attacked, and you know, our campaign theme is Texas Tough.
Yeah.
I know that I can withstand the attacks in this moment. And so I think that there's a track record to run on, a federal record. And I think that people will evaluate my federal record versus James's ideas of kind of what it would be if he were to be in the Senate. But at the end of the day, I'm just focused on the opposition. And my opposition is not James. My opposition is whoever ends up making it out of the primary on the Republican side, the people that are harming the people that live here in the state of Texas.
Your campaign launch video solely showcases the president insulting you repeatedly. And frankly, there was more content that even could have been shared. As I mentioned, the hate you've received, a lot of the vitriol, a lot of the critique. It didn't include specifically in that video a message about Texas or the issues that were substantive. Why did you choose that approach here?
Yeah, so what I decided is that we wanted to do a launch with the people, and we wanted it to be a real launch. We wanted real people that were going to be there, not anybody's stage, no stage camera, nothing. And so we knew that we would actually get content from our launch event. And so we have that. I gave a substantive speech about all the things. I mean, I don't think that you can actually bottle them up into a 1-minute video. But we absolutely needed something for fundraising. So for anybody that's watching, if you're checking for your girl, make sure that you visit jasmineforus.com. So we needed something. But I also think that it is telling, because here it is. If the president cannot keep my name out of his mouth, then who is it that would be better to make sure that they are in the U.S. Senate to hold him accountable? I am the one that he is afraid of. I am the one that the Republicans fear. They can say that they don't, but my governor cannot stop tweeting about me. And I know that that is out of fear, because honestly, if they really wanted me as the nominee, they would be quiet and just wait and hope to crush me. But they know my strength, and they know my ability to reach people that historically have not wanted to participate in politics or had just given up. And that is how we are going to win in the state of Texas. As I reminded people in my speech today, there were those that told a young senator out of Illinois that no one would ever vote for him because he had this weird, funny name that people couldn't pronounce, or because his middle name was Hussein. They told him that he could never beat back the Clinton machine. And somehow he became the first and only Black president of the United States. This isn't about what we can't do. It's about what we will do and what we can do if we just get to work. And so just as President Obama said so many years ago, as someone who ended up becoming president at the exact same age that I am right now, 44, he said, yes, we can. Si se puede. And I am saying the same today.
You have said part of your campaign is Texas Strong. You've also been somebody who has been unapologetic in your approach to the language you have used. You have gone toe-to-toe with the likes of Elon Musk, let alone the President of the United States, let alone Marjorie Taylor Greene, infamously, even going viral on a number of occasions. In the climate that we are presently in, do you have any plans to change your approach in terms of your rhetoric or how you want voters to view it?
You know what? We actually tested for a lot of those moments.
Did you?
We needed to know how they played in Texas. We did. We tested for those moments. And to be clear, those moments played just as well in Texas as they played everywhere else in the country. What we found is that voters moved to me even more. I think it is because it's authentic. I think it is because I think it is the authenticity as well as the strength. I think that people can be forgiving of somebody that gets off script every once in a while if they feel like it's real. They don't want somebody who's just being puppeteered. They want someone who they feel like is a real person. And so, while I know that the goal will be from the other side to kind of get me into sparring matches, my goal will be to make sure that I can inform Texans of when they're being distracted. And I will redirect the conversation to Texans, because at the end of the day, that is the only thing that matters. That is the only thing that should matter. And right now, Texas is not being properly represented. Not when, again, we have record numbers of bankruptcy filings from our farmers and ranchers. Not when we already lead the country in uninsured. Not when, in that scenario, we have a senator that is not interested in making sure that those tax subsidies for the Affordable Care Act are extended. We have people right now that are dishing out death because they refuse to just do what they claim to do, which is to be pro-life. There is nothing pro-life about their agenda. And obviously, our children, they are our future. And right now, the future isn't looking as bright as it should. Laura, you have children.
I do.
And you know what it is to be able to plan for your children to actually go off to school. That light is dimming right now for some.
And the fear if you cannot. Finally, I know we have to go, but I have to ask this because you have filed today on the deadline. There are some who are angry that you had the audacity to be a part of the Senate race. What do you say to those who question your ability to hold the state in a general?
Yeah, I say turn that anger into work. Listen, I'm not here to make anybody mad. I'm here to win. And that's all I got to say about that. So it's time for everybody to get to work. Right now, we know that this primary will be over in 85 days. We are headed into GOTV. It is time to get to work. It is not time to be divided. It is time to unite, because when we were divided, we ended up with Donald Trump. I will do nothing to divide us. I will do everything that I can to unite us and make sure that we win, because a win in Texas is actually bigger than Texas. It is a win for this country. We are talking about a seat that will absolutely flip the control of the Senate over to the Democrats. This is bigger than the state of Texas.